Good evening and happy first day of Black History Month. Welcome to the Uprising Volume 2, Black Herstory. My name is Vanessa Brooke Agnes, and I'm a Black and biracial woman with she/her pronouns. I'm an interdisciplinary artist and activist, a born and raised Minnesotan, and a fellow child of the universe. I grew up in predominantly white neighborhoods, schools, and institutions, but I'm so blessed to be on the journey of loving my Blackness, the journey of appreciating the nuance in being mixed race, of connecting to my ancestry, of discovering my spirituality and the value that I bring to the table. On June 1st, 2020, in the days following the murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police, I founded Dark Muse Performing Arts. And while our cities were literally and figuratively on fire, I reached out to my community and organized our inaugural event, the Uprising Volume 1, a beautiful evening of peaceful protest and performance, outdoors and socially distanced in a parking lot in Minneapolis. Over 300 people attended and many more tuned in from home to bear witness and stand in solidarity while BIPOC performers and allies used the platform to express, grieve, inspire, and heal. This is the second installment of the Uprising series, and so today, we kick off Black History Month by celebrating Black women, trans women, and non-binary femmes who have shaped our culture, built our country, and protected communities everywhere. It is time to protect them. I resonated with a quote in a New York Times article that read, "For millennia, humans have turned to rituals and stories to remind one another of hope and deeper truths." Tonight, you will hear from a handful of Black women and femmes who will take us on a journey through the eras and use the age-old art of storytelling to show the resilience of our community and how we continually find our hope. Our struggles do not define us, only strengthen us. And now I'm speaking directly to all the Black women tuning in. You are loved. You deserve joy. You don't need to earn rest, and you are worthy of life's abundances. Your life not only matters, it is a miracle. Thank you all for watching, and I sincerely hope you enjoy the show. Tonight, you'll witness, feel, and learn about the many facets of Black women's history. But before we begin tonight's program, we at Dark Muse must pay respect to Indigenous ancestors, past and present, and honor the land that we currently stand upon. We pay our respect to the Ojibwe and Dakota people who still care for this land and call it home. We cannot separate the history of Black women and the land that we live on today from the history of colonialism and slavery. Just as colonizers stole land, labor, and cultures of our Black ancestors, settler colonizers have done the same to our Native relatives. Under the Nelson Act of 1889, the Anishinaabe in the territory that we now call Minnesota were stripped of their homes and relocated to what is now the White Earth Reservation. In a country that was built under the guise of freedom of religion, Native peoples were not free to practice their ceremonies, their culture, until 1978, just 43 years ago. Just as Black history has the trauma of enslavement, so does Native history in what is currently the United States. To find out what Native land you are currently on and learn more, visit native-land.ca. There are compounding crises happening right now. Even in ceded territory, Ojibwe tribal members retain certain property rights, and the new oil pipelines in northern Minnesota violate the treaty rights of the Anishinaabe by endangering critical natural resources. All pipelines leak. We know this. Line 3 threatens the culture, way of life, and survival of the Ojibwe people. Take action and support water protectors. Educate yourself and contact tribal, city, county, and state leaders. Divest and move your money if your bank is backing these pipeline expansions. Visit stopline3.org to learn more and find ways you can take action today. In addition, as we celebrate and uplift Black women tonight, we would like to recognize an epidemic and a crisis that needs more visibility: missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. According to the CDC, Indigenous women are murdered at a rate of 10 times higher than other ethnicities, and the majority of these murders are committed by non-Native people on Native-owned land. According to the National Institute of Justice, 84% of Native women have experienced violence in their lifetime. These numbers are staggering, and the genocide of these women is alarming. Do research, have conversations, and use the hashtags MMIW and No More Stolen Sisters for more visibility and investigation.
Since the very beginning, Black women have held it down, despite all the ways our society has tried to hold us down. Even through the generations of abuse, maltreatment, violence, rape, murder, we continue to demonstrate our brilliance and resilience every day. We are caretakers of community, culture creators, and change makers. Still, there are many double standards that exist for Black women and have only been perpetuated by our culture and society. For example, we are expected to stand up for what is right and often feel we have no other choice than to do so. But we can't get too emotional, or we are seen as the ever harmful, angry Black woman stereotype. We are expected to be strong, but strong women have posed a threat to our patriarchy since the beginning of time. And God forbid we are ever seen as weak or, human. Throughout history, stereotypes and tropes have put us into boxes, society viewing us in certain ways and expecting us to behave according to their expectations. Two of the earliest tropes that emerged include the asexual mammy character, a nurturing slave or servant void of femininity and seen as manly or worse compared to monkeys and other animals. This caricature depicted Black women as content and happy, even as slaves. Their loyal servitude justified the institution of slavery. Often portrayed as obese and coarse, she was maternal in nature and often completely desexualized, despite the fact that she had children. She felt a sense of belonging to the white family and despised her own Black family. In addition, the sapphire or angry Black woman stereotypes appeared. This framed her as rude, loud, malicious, stubborn, and overbearing. She was not only irrational, quick-tempered, and mean-spirited, she was seen as emasculating to male partners. There is so much fear in the anger of Black women. It traps us in an impossible situation of suppressing our feelings. These stereotypes only encourage the punishment of Black women who don't adhere to societal norms. We are supposed to be passive, non-threatening, and unseen. The transatlantic slave trades of the 17th and 18th century resulted in what we refer to today as African diaspora, the mass amounts of our ancestors kidnapped from the continent and sold into slavery. Millions of Native Africans and people of African heritage are scattered throughout the Americas and the world in countless communities. This period in our history caused a generational trauma that resides within every African American woman today, and it also has created a deep divide between ourselves and our own African ancestry.
Julia Esther, the name of my grandmother who died before I was born, but stories of her sass and sparkle live on in our family lore. As a little girl, people told me I looked just like her. I would stare at the black and white pictures, glamorous in her tailored clothes, fancy hats, and eyes like mine. Julia Esther had her own beauty shop with a small room in the back where she raised my dad. A single mom and business owner in the segregated Atlantic City of the 30s and 40s, she made it work. From the church folks to the nightclub dancers, all the neighborhood ladies came to Julia Esther's chair for care and conversation. And then she would send them out into their world, beautified and fortified to face an America that did not see them. From a farm in Missouri to the swinging resort town of Atlantic City, she created her life from scratch. A respected business owner and confidant to her clients with fancy shoes. that my grandmother persevered to make a business, raise a son, and grab joy has shaped and propelled me. So much so I named my daughter after her, to keep Julia's strength close to me. Tonight we celebrate the legacy of Black women. My family can only be traced back to the 1850s. It's difficult to track people whose lives were recorded as property. My family's homeland and name lost forever through kidnapping and forced labor. Because I will never know them, I hold that much tighter to the story of my grandmother, Julia Esther. She is one of the anchors that grounds me in this world. She and I are dreamers, we are doers, we are glamorous. I too have felt the sting of sexism, the ache for freedom, the oppression of racism. I am grateful to stand on the shoulders of the Black women that raised this country, created our culture, our style, who have comforted us, who challenge us and protect us. Tonight, we celebrate the Black woman, the mamas, aunties, and grandmothers, some whose names we may never know, but whose impact has saved us all. I am possible because they carried on, and so I will continue to carry on. Maybe one day my granddaughter will see a picture of me and feel the pride I feel when I see my Julia Esther. She will see the joy and strength that is the legacy of Black women.
Novice, nurturer, rebel, sage, object of desire, on fire with rage. Finest of creatures, chiseled features that, like fine wine, improve with age. It's her right to learn through a strong education and to use her skills to improve her nation. It's her right to earn and to acquire wealth and have civilized dealings in all matters of health. It's her absolute right to take that knee against misuse or abuse of authority. She deserves protection from terror and hate, since she's always been making America great. Heaven possessed, dark by design, flesh sweetly caressed by the sunshine. Sumptuous, supple, feast of zest, clearly unique from all the rest. Soft by choice, strong on demand, most precious treasure from the motherland. Mother of nations, creation's highlight, lover divine, goddess of twilight.
After being ripped from their homeland and forced into slavery, Black women continued to hold the line and hold it down. Throughout this period in history, they only secured their position as caretakers of community. Black women were not only exploited and used for unpaid labor, many were abused, raped, and murdered by their masters, a harsh reality that any Black woman today can feel in her bones, the sting of generational trauma. Enslavers built a system to make their enslaved as dependent as possible on them. Many were prohibited from learning to read and write, and a hierarchy of houseworkers and field hands kept them divided. This reduced the likelihood of them organizing against their masters. The abolitionist movement gained strength in the mid-1800s, and free Black and anti-slavery Northerners began helping enslaved people escape from Southern plantations. Most notably, Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad helped anywhere from 40,000 to 100,000 enslaved people reach freedom. Black women have a unique and special relationship with their hair for many reasons. Some date back to the braid patterns used to communicate age, community, social position, religion, and more in African societies. Many are inspired by those who created maps and delivered messages through their cornrows, leading brothers and sisters to freedom. In the early 1860s, the Emancipation Proclamation freed some 3 million slaves, but was not the end of slavery in America, not until the Civil War ended in 1865 and the passage of the 13th Amendment. In addition to the Mammy and Sapphire stereotypes, the equally harmful Jezebel trope emerged, and with it, the hypersexualization of Black women. They were portrayed as sexually insatiable, innately lustful, and animalistic in their desires. This was used to justify sexual abuse during and after slavery. It also perpetuated the ideal that white women were pure, and in the 19th century, modest to the degree of prudishness. This sexual violence not only created lifelong and generational trauma, it has affected our reproductive health and caused many other health disparities. A large part of our history was shaped by this era, but it does not define us. Our worth is not measured by the amount of severity of hardships we overcome. We are worthy just as we are in this moment, and we have been since we were a mere twinkle in our mother's eye. We are our ancestors' dreams realized.
Lord, why come me here? Lord, why come me here? Lord, why come me here? I wish I never was born. There ain't no freedom here, Lord. They stole my children away. My body's not my own, Lord. I wish I never was born. Hi, I'm Amy K. Bryant. I am a singer and a theater artist in the Twin Cities. And when I think about the journey of enslaved women and the experience of Black women in slavery, that song is the sentiment that fills my body. And I think that that's probably what everybody thinks about or how they feel when they think about the history of slavery in this country. But I've been tasked with sharing with you how enslaved women found joy, how they managed to take care of their communities and take care of themselves and survive in spite of all the rape and the brutality and the dismantling of the Black family and all of the suffering. It's hard to wrap your mind around there even being the possibility of being joy, but the fact that we still exist means that there must have been joy. There had to have been love, right? But if you look at the documents that talk about slavery,
They don't tell us about any of that. Even what the enslaved people had to say about slavery, they're not talking about joy because they are battling against the institution. And the narrative of white supremacy says that the slaves are happy, that the slaves like being slaves. And so they never talked about what they did to maintain themselves. But what we know is that even though the drums were taken away, they got skins and they got pieces of wood and they got bones and they made instruments. We know that just like people get together and they create a cipher and they break dance, they battle, enslaved people had ring shouts. They expressed joy amongst themselves when they could be alone together, and sometimes when they weren't able to be alone together, through music, because as long as we have flesh, we have rhythm, we have a heart beating inside of us. As long as we have breath and the ability, we have a voice, and so we can sing. And that's what they did. They took nothing, like the alchemists that African people throughout the diaspora are. They took nothing and they made joy. Juba, Juba, Juba this and Juba that, and Juba killed the yellow cat and get over double trouble. Juba, Juba, Juba up and Juba down and Juba all around the town and get over double trouble. Juba, Juba, we sift the wheat, they give us the husk. We bake the bread, they give us the crust. We make the meat, they give us the skin, and that's where my grandma trouble begin. Oh, Juba, Juba, Juba this and Juba that, and Juba killed a yellow cat and get over double trouble. Juba, Juba, Juba up and Juba down and Juba all around the town and get over double trouble. Juba, Juba, Juba for your mom and Juba for your pa and Juba for your brother-in-law. Oh, Juba, Juba, Juba this and Juba that, and Juba killed a yellow cat and get over double trouble. Juba, 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 Juba.
For Black women, equality did not come with the abolition of slavery, not even close. The era of Jim Crow, black codes, and segregation came next. And the civil rights movement didn't emerge until a century after emancipation. White supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan terrorized Black towns, Black spaces, and Black people. Our communities saw the same rage on display during the first week of 2021 as Proud Boys and other domestic terrorists attempted an insurrection at our nation's capital. Segregation was law in the South and enforced by racial covenants, job discrimination, and more in the North. This de facto segregation has lasted well into our current landscape. Intimidation tactics were used to suppress Black voters, and these tactics continued well into the 20th century, some still in existence today. Lynchings were common, a form of terrorism designed to intimidate Black folks. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s came as Black people were no longer going to accept separate and unequal. From the lunch counter sit-ins to the Freedom Riders to the marches in Selma, these nonviolent demonstrations didn't come easy and didn't come without great cost. 14-year-old Emmett Till was lynched in 1955, and his killers walked free, admitting later in a magazine interview that they had indeed killed him. Medgar Evers was shot in his own driveway, children massacred in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and 4 people died during the Selma marches. More collective trauma to add to the pile. Oftentimes, Black women are erased from the fight for civil rights, but the unsung heroes who paved the way include Daisy Bates, Ida B. Wells, Rosa Parks, Angela Davis, Erica Huggins, Coretta Scott King, Pauli Murray, and countless others. In our very own backyard, we experienced sundown towns, all-white neighborhoods that used intimidation and violence to enforce segregation, where Black people had to leave by sundown. Albert Lee, Edina, Mankato, St. Louis Park, South St. Paul, and Stillwater, just to name a few. Racial covenants and racially restrictive deeds were prevalent in Minnesota during this time. Lena Olive Smith, a civil rights lawyer and activist, was the first African-American woman licensed to practice law in Minnesota in 1921 and remained the only until 1945. Social clubs and community centers served as an important part of Black culture during this era. The Phyllis Wheatley House was the first settlement house to serve the social service needs of African Americans in Minneapolis. It became a center of African American life at a time when racial segregation divided the city. The Hallie Q. Brown Community Center was founded in 1929 as an African American nonprofit social service agency, formed in an attempt to address the growing social problems facing African Americans. It has since evolved from an independent human services provider to a multi-service center, housing the Martin Luther King Center and the celebrated Penumbra Theater Company. During the Black Liberation Movement, the final trope of Black women emerged in the media, the strong Black women. This was constructed in part by Black women to escape the other three stereotypes previously mentioned. However, it's just as limiting. It crafts an expectation that we are to be self-denying caregivers with superhuman strength, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The trope began to grow in film and television, influenced by white and/or male filmmakers. It has caused harm as we see how mainstream audiences prefer to see Black women: unyielding strength, inspirational to a fault, and able to endure extreme suffering. Unfortunately, these are the performances that tend to be recognized most by awards. The physical and mental health disparities that exist for Black women are troubling in reality. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from complications related to pregnancy than white women, and 3 to 4 times more likely to suffer a severe disability resulting from childbirth. Black women are affected by infertility, underrepresented in clinical trials and biomedical research, and suffer from conditions that disproportionately affect them with very little government research funding. Mental illness affects Black women in many different ways. Women are at least twice as likely to experience an episode of major depression as men, and compared to their white counterparts, Black women are half as likely to seek help. Many barriers exist in our healthcare system, as we have only seen exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The cultural contributions made by Black women are unmatched in science, entrepreneurship, entertainment, fashion, sports, art, and so much more. They are often not given credit for their work and discoveries, and are overlooked throughout history. Not to mention the rejection of Black culture by white communities, and then the appropriation and profiteering off of Black culture. The harm is constant and ever prevailing.
It's incredible, the gall of colonizers. They expected me to be broken, so I led them to believe I was. Underneath, I was protecting the will of revolution in my people. While on the ship, I swallowed a root that rendered me mute. The British were confused, frustrated that they could not interrogate me. Little did they know, when my voice was to return, it would sustain the spirit of my people. Oh, how the mighty British have fallen. They never expected with their steel that we could defeat them. But war is not waged in flesh alone. Colonizers certainly know that to conquer, God is first weaponized. But this is why they fear us. They know who we are. They know what's in us. But if we don't, we will be controlled. Hello, my name is Atleast Robinson. I am a multidisciplinary theater artist and the founding artistic director of Ambiance Theater Company. The piece I just shared is called Queen Mother, and it is an homage to Queen Nanny of the Maroons, who established the Windward communities in Blue Mountain in Jamaica. I wanted to highlight her story because I think when we oftentimes reflect on the antebellum period in the transatlantic slave trade, we assume that there were no free communities. We attach it solely to slavery. And so I wanted to highlight the people who revolted at all costs in order to preserve their history, to preserve their language, to preserve themselves. And so I give that piece as an homage and to an honor to Queen Nanny of the Maroons. Thank you.
As Black women, we are the experts of our own lived experiences. And while we are all familiar with both racism and sexism, there are countless other ways that identities can intersect and provide a wider range of factors for discrimination and for privilege. In 1989, Kimberly Crenshaw coined the term intersectionality as a way to help explain the oppression of African American women. It is defined as the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. Intersectional feminism separates itself from white feminism through the acknowledgement of women's different experiences and identities. Crenshaw notes that valuing oneself and self-definition are two ways of resisting oppression. Self-awareness preserves our self-esteem and allows us to avoid dehumanizing outside influences. Celebrated poet Audre Lorde says, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house," and that we reside in a country where racism, sexism, and homophobia are inseparable. Lorde highlights the importance of intersectionality, acknowledging that different prejudices are inherently linked. Gender, sex, and sexuality make up yet another complex level of our identities. Violence against the LGBTQIA2+ community and homophobic-fueled attacks only create more collective trauma. Black trans women are the most targeted demographic and face disproportionate violence. Class can play a large role in identity. Financial insecurity can take a toll mentally, physically, and emotionally, and generational poverty is a reality for many Black women and femmes. Our broken criminal justice system and other systems in place make it difficult for us to survive and nearly impossible for some to meet basic essentials such as housing, health, family stabilization and support, public safety, food security, and more. The war on drugs and mass incarceration, which has roots going back to the Civil War, has decimated minority families. In addition to those previously mentioned, ability, nationality, citizenship, religion, and physical appearance create even more intersections, factors like skin tone and body type, including size and height. On top of that, dealing with mental illness, addiction, being an adoptee, and countless other life experiences continuously shape our identities. Tokenism is another complex issue among Black women. It is defined as the practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to do a particular thing, especially by recruiting a small number of people from underrepresented groups in order to give the appearance of sexual or racial equality within a workforce. In addition, the harm that comes with practicing tokenism, assuming tokenism to discredit the talent, skills, expertise, or experience of Black women only proliferates the harm. This promotes more feelings of self-doubt and imposter syndrome in our community. Blackness is not a monolith, and every single Black woman is unique and nuanced. Our differences are what make us special, what makes us magic, and they are worthy of recognition and celebration.
Hi, I'm Bree Graham.
And I'm Emily Madigan, and I identify as she, her, hers, or they, them, theirs, or whatever with respect. I'm a mixed race Black woman and I identify as genderqueer.
I identify as she, her, hers. I am a mixed Black biracial woman, and we are the ladies of the Mixed Messages podcast.
So our podcast is dedicated to exploring what it's like to live between communities as mixed race Black women. In a very black and white world, falling in between can cause some difficulties in navigation. So our podcast is dedicated to figuring that out together. Bree, will you tell me and the people what intersectionality means to you in your life and the ways that your different intersectional identities?
So for me, the concept of intersectionality looks like being more than one. I think we love to put ourselves in boxes and say, I am this, and I am only this, and I am only this, because we as a society love to be able to play these identification games. Well, for me, intersectionality means that I can be more than one thing, and I'm not restricted to only what this means and only what this means, which then opens up the doors for me to be more than just the thing, the one thing. For me, intersectionality has played a huge part in my life when I finally decided to stop gatekeeping myself and telling myself that I was only allowed to be this thing. I was only allowed to be biracial. I was only allowed to be a woman. I was only allowed to be this. What about for you, Em?
Sort of the same thing. So like with intersectionality and living as a Black biracial woman, as a queer Black biracial woman, as a gender nonconforming Black biracial woman, there's a lot of different ways that discrimination can affect my life, can affect our lives. And I think one of the things that we have really embraced this year specifically is our version of what it means to be a Black woman. Because I grew up in an all-white family, and I'm a partial transracial adoptee. So my mother is my mother who is white, and my dad is a white man who adopted me in like '94, I think. And so I spent my whole life identifying as a Black woman, but feeling like because I don't have certain experiences, that I couldn't claim fully being a Black woman. And I think 2020 really sort of opened the doors to the realization that if I'm going to fight for everyone to accept me as I am wholly, then I have to accept me.
Ooh, come on.
I know.
Yes,
learning
to
things
that.
in 2020.
But also, you're not the only one.
Right.
I remember when we had conversations about the first times that we had these awakenings within ourselves that we were allowed to identify as more than one thing and how complex it is. All of a sudden, being able to step into that identity allowed so much more acceptance for ourselves, grace for ourselves, and for others to be able to see, oh, okay, yeah, like that is what that is, and that is what that is too. And so I think it's a really beautiful marriage when, like you said, you're able to accept yourself, other people are able to accept you too.
Right. And I think that has been sort of like the base for all great intersectional feminist work throughout history.
Yes.
I'm a big advocate for the disabled and differently abled communities because I have a differently abled brother, and I feel like that is a community that is not widely recognized.
Correct.
I mean, I even had to, for this, I was like, I would love to talk about disabled Black women leaders in the community, and I was like, I don't have any names, so I had to Google some. And they're out there. I mean, I could pull out my phone and read you some, but that would be...
But that's exactly the problem, is because we don't talk about intersectionality.
Right.
It has been something that has been, excuse me, it's been something that has been hidden from us for such a long time because the whole construct was to divide us, to make us feel like we were alone.
Yes.
And so the more that we can realize that we're actually all in this together and that
I won't do it.
Seriously.
Yes.
But the more that we can realize that we're in this together and that this fight isn't a singular fight, it's for all of us, then the more we win and the more we get to know about the people that have helped us in this movement, and the more platform and awareness we can make for other people to continue to do the work.
Period.
Period.
I think we nailed it.
I don't know. I feel pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, what?
All right. Can we kick her out?
My name is Kamari Williams. I am known as the sex kitten of the Twin Cities. I've been performing for 8 years, and I am a Black transgender woman. I am out, proud, and live my life to the fullest, but it has not always been that way. It has taken me a long time to just like myself. It has taken even longer to love myself. A lot of people want to love you in the dark, and they don't want to accept you in the light. But until you can accept yourself and love yourself for who you are, then you can really feel beautiful and you can really feel pretty.
Da 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 da. Laying in his bed with this man, I know it's sex, but I wish it was more. Praying when he get out this bed, he'll feel the same way he did before. But I know good damn well when he walks out of that door, I ain't gon' hear from him anymore. 'Cause if I let him do it, I did it to myself. And I was so all that I can see is she's prettier than me. Damn, I wish I had her body. I can hear my self-esteem. I don't like me. And I don't feel so pretty today. This mirror don't look the same. Thought I liked the woman I was, but people keep saying change. Maybe they're right. I made a mess of my life. I don't know where or when I lost my sight. 'Cause if I let him do it, I did it to myself. And I was so dumb, I admit it. I need some help. 'Cause all that I can see is she's prettier than me. Damn, I wish I had her body. I can hear my self-esteem. I don't like me.
Wish I could tie you up in my shoes, make you feel unpretty too. I was told I was beautiful, but what does that mean to you? Look into the mirror, who's inside there? The one with the long hair. Same old me again today. My outside's look cool, my inside's a blue. Every time I think I'm through, it's because of you. I try different ways, but it's all the same. At the end of the day, I have myself to blame. I'm just tripping. You can buy a hair that won't grow. You can fix your nose if he says so. You can buy all the makeup the man can make. But if you can't look inside you, find out who am I to be in the position to make me feel so damn unpretty. Make you feel unpretty too. Make you feel unpretty.
Today, just as in years past, Black women are on the front lines of change in our society because we've had to be. From the very start, Black girls are 5 times more likely to be suspended than her white peers for the same violations. Even though Black girls are less than 16% of the female student population, they are about a third of girls referred to law enforcement and more than a third of female school-based arrests, oiling the track down the school-to-prison pipeline. In adulthood, 40% of sex trafficking survivors are Black. Of all women stopped by police, half of them are Black. And domestic and partner violence has only increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. We live in a carefully orchestrated system that targets Black bodies and fails to center their needs. Brutality towards Black women is embedded in every part of our society. And still, we rise to fight. In 2014, we started saying her name, amplifying the names of Black women killed by police: Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Maya Hall, Anjanette Young, Atatiana Jefferson. Around the same time, Tarana Burke founded the Black-centered #MeToo movement in response to sexual abuse, harassment, and sex crimes. In the 2020 election, Black women delivered multiple states for progressives, most notably in voter-suppressed Georgia with organizations like Fair Fight led by Stacey Abrams. Fair Fight registered more than 800,000 first-time voters in 2 years in preparation for the fight. At the time this project is recorded, we are just ahead of inauguration, but in the mere days following the terrorist attack by white supremacists on our nation's capital, this attempted coup has shown just how broken our democracy is, and that the hate in this country, whether it is overt or bubbling just underneath the surface, has always been there. Trump's America has only fanned the flames of delusion and violence. Protect Black women is now a turn of phrase in progressive spaces, reflecting not only what Black women give to social justice movements, but also what we face in everyday life. Black women are enduring struggles laced in struggle. But as Meg Thee Stallion says, they try to knock me out, but a bitch still grinding.
Hi, I'm Ilario Kikiolu. I'm a queer, Black, first-generation American, and I'm going to talk about growing up Black in a predominantly white area. I wasn't born in Minnesota. I was born in Georgia, and when my parents moved us up here, there was a lot of disconnect between my Blackness and my Africanness. I think there wasn't a lot of explanation or history behind where I come from and who I am, so I think I went looking for that in a lot of wrong places. I was really young when I started considering my identity and being Black in areas that there weren't a lot of people who looked like me, and I think that hurt me in a lot of ways, because I think there were a lot of people around me who didn't have to consider race when they thought about themselves or their identity or who they were in a situation. But I think it was people constantly presenting to me who I was to them or who I represented in a situation that made me question and reconsider who I am. And I think that Black women specifically take a lot of time justifying and teaching the world about what we bring to the table versus what they assume that we give. And I think I have a lot of trauma built up and guarded around what type of Black person I've been told to be, and this idea of a strong Black woman or an angry Black woman that often gets brought out. And I think that it didn't give me a lot of rights or clarity over my own emotions, and it was me holding back a lot of how I felt in situations where I could have just spoken out of who I was. And I think I wish that if someone could have told me when I was a young girl that I don't have to explain away what I bring to the table or who I am, and that I can be myself and I can make mistakes, and that doesn't mean that it makes me any less of a person. I think a lot about how existing in America as a black woman versus existing in America as black are very different experiences, and especially black trans women who are murdered by men in their own communities. I think about the disconnect between black people and the specific black identities and how buttonholed we've been in specific situations about what types of people are going to be. And if we don't have that right to ourselves, how do we find ourselves in specific situations, and how do we know who to be when who we bring to the table isn't welcome?
My name is Aaliyah Mukamori. I'm a biracial woman, and today I'll be talking about cultural appropriation. So cultural appropriation is something that I find to be very obvious at times, but also it can be very subtle, especially today in society. And I think that's because I see so many black people, specifically black women, giving so many things to society and culture that are used by white people, and they profit off of that, and it's still used against us. And I think it's something that needs to be recognized on a broad scale, but also within ourselves daily. And I have a poem that I'm going to read by Sydney Nash. They love the fabrics that you wear, the mehndi on your hands, your dreadlocked hair or your sun-kissed skin, the headdresses that your heroes bear. But they do not love being you. They do not want your worries. Your discontent is not theirs to claim. They ignore the poverty too. The scars of slaves they will never take. The slurs and oppression can stay, and the pain it leaves, the pain it brings of keeping your culture awake.
I'm Tegan Hartman, and I'm a non-binary, biracial black woman. I want to talk today about finding my identity as a black person and being able to embrace blackness. So I was raised by a white mother in a white household, the only black member of my family. When I was in school, when I was a freshman in high school, actually, I was the only black person in my whole school, and I almost refused to acknowledge it. People would refer to me as black. People would say, you know, you're the one black person I know. You're my one black friend, and I would reject it. I would say, I'm not black. I'm mulatto. That would be the most I would say, you know. And I thought that was fine to say. I mean, that's what my mother referred to me as. That's what my grandmother referred to me as. And that was how I lived through high school. When I got to college, I was exposed to a lot more diversity, but also with that, I was exposed to a lot more racism and microaggressions that I hadn't recognized earlier in my life. And part of that, too, was experiencing the state violence against black people, and kind of being able to learn how it related to me as a person. I, struggled for a long time, even still in college, being around a lot more diversity, understanding, what I had originally thought it meant to be black, breaking down that construct, realizing it's not a monolith. And kind of the penultimate moment for me was when Philando Castile was killed. He was killed a few blocks away from where I lived, and that one just really hit home. That was kind of a moment for me where I was like, from now on, I'm black and I'm nothing but black. And I'm going to, fight for black people. And I think it also gave me the realization that, like, being black, doesn't mean one thing. And I want everybody to be able to kind of feel that way, understand that, not shy away from blackness, but dig into it and feel empowered by it. Because I think black is very powerful. I think black is beautiful. I think black is strong. And black women especially, I think, are the strongest people in the world for, everything that gets thrown at them. So
being a Black woman and being able to say that I'm a Black woman now from where I came from is really important. And I just hope that other Black girls and Black women will feel empowered to, just dig into their Blackness and feel strong with it. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I'd never trade you for anybody else. Singing brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I'd never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
She said she really grew up poor like me. Don't believe in nothing but the almighty. Just a little jeans and a pure white tee. She said she never ever be forever wifey. Never in the pretty but her heart in a maze. Feeling like a villain cause she caught in a wave. Tonight I am walking away. 9 to 5 grind on the mind, yeah.
Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm coming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fighting but falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I never trade you for anybody else. Singing brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in all the world. I never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
Always like a trophy when Naomi's walking. She needn't ask her for that pretty dark skin. Pretty like Lupita when the camera's closing. Drip like a levee when my Kelly's rolling.
I think tonight she might braid her braids. Melanin too dark to throw her shade. She minds her business and winds her ways. For like 24K, okay.
Tonight I might fall in love,
depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fighting but falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I'd never trade you for anybody else. Singing brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in all the world. I'd never trade you for anybody else. Singing. Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? Wish you could trade eyes with me, cause there's complexities in complexion, and your skin, it grow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth you be giving birth. Do everything in life, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single curve, your body natural.
Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're in the room, they notice you. Cause you're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. With you and all of your glory. Your skin is not only dark, it shines and it tells your story. Keep dancing, they can't control you. They watch and they all adore you. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told you. Brown skin girl,
brown skin girl,
your skin just like pearls,
brown skin girl,
the best thing in all the world. I'll never trade you for anybody else.
No. Brown skin girl,
your skin just like pearls,
brown skin,
the best thing in all the world. I'll never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearl, the best thing in all the world. I'd never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
I ask that wherever you are, you join me in a moment of silence to recognize and remember our fallen sisters. Close your eyes or lower your gaze if you're able. Bring a hand to your heart and take a deep breath in and out. We have lost many Black women over the last year and in generations past. Those who have had their lives taken from them too soon, and those who couldn't keep their own hope alive. We imagine a better future for Black girls everywhere, and we manifest it in honor of you, because of you. To our non-Black advocates and accomplices, thank you for all you've done to amplify our voices. Thank you for leaving performative allyship in 2020, and thank you for taking the time and energy to spread the good word. Heed the call. Actively protect Black women. Believe us, compensate us, appreciate us, and see us. Roll up your sleeves and put in the work. Build a habit of asking yourself what solidarity looks like, what it feels like. This evening was not meant to be a complete or definitive history. I encourage you to go forth and do your own research on the Black women and femmes that have been erased from your history books for far too long. And finally, justice and equal opportunity for Black women will only benefit the community at large. Humanity is not a zero-sum game. To my Black and mixed sisters, trans women, non-binary femmes, and all that have paved the way for these stories to be told. You are descendants of royalty. Your ancestors were queens and kings. You are beautiful, strong, funny, smart, nerdy, talented, skilled, badass, boss bitches, champions, multifaceted human beings of every shape, size, shade, height, ability, status, and zip code. You are perfection realized. Generations of magic reside within you, fellow children of the universe. Every woman has a story. What will yours be? You are the author. Pick up the pen. I sincerely hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and if you would like to support Dark Muse Performing Arts in unapologetically amplifying BIPOC and LGBTQ+ voices through bold storytelling, you can visit us at darkmusearts.org/support. Stay tuned for Racism, Covenants, and Dreams Deferred, a series of conversations centered around African Americans, Native Americans, and immigrant communities, curated in partnership with 21st Century Arts and taking place this summer in both the Twin Cities and in Rochester, New York. I hope you have a meaningful Black History Month and a prosperous and healthy 2021. Thank you for watching. Good night.